Welcome to the conversation about the Sagittarius lunation coming up on exactly 9 degrees of Sagittarius, where we have a powerful royal star, Antares. This lunation happens on May the 31st. We're going to overview some of the big picture world stories that may occur, and I'm going to very lightly touch on where you might have a golden-haired goddess of opportunity activating your Sagittarius whole sign house, because that is the very powerful and quite positive Sabian symbol that is upon us at this moon. We have asteroids Apollo, Apollonia, Pan, for pandemic, Wuhan activated during the sky as well. Sorry, guys. And as well, we also can see some other more positive asteroids like Maki being mixed up into this story. So this moon is full, it's bright on a powerful, powerful star. And we're going to dive into what it might mean for the world. I do not think that this is all a negative story at all. But I do think that in the world complex of events, there may be some interesting developments, both with war. Antares is about war. It is one of the war stars. It is the heart of the Scorpion. It is the rival of Mars because he has a red cast like Mars. And so it's associated with war energy. But Antares has more than just war meanings. So we're going to dive into some of the glory and power and fleeting wealth and power and fame that Antares can bring you. I have Antares on my midheaven exactamente. So I've been living with this star all of my life. All right. So welcome to my channel. If you're new, my name is Lothian. This is Western Tropical Zodiac Astrology. Fixed stars and minor asteroids are always in my game wheelhouse. We'll be talking about, of course, a few of those stories today, particularly Antares, and a retrospective of Algol that was activated on the Taurus new moon, May 16th. All right. So let's get rolling. Let's get started. Let me share some thoughts and concerns. Let me talk about the sky and then show you the sky. No, Antares is a royal watcher star. It's one of those stars that was considered a navigational star back in the day when people were plying the seas with their sailboats doing trade and adventure. And so it is one of the stars that was used for people in navigation. And Antares, the royal Persian star, is also called the royal watcher. And this star is one of those stars where it activates a huge amount of prosperity in the ancient world. Egyptians actually called it a prosperity star. And they had a name for it. It was called Kakshia. And I probably said that wrong since I don't speak ancient Egyptian. But it can bring athletic abilities, military prowess. It can bring the ability to hone your talents, to develop skill and courage in life. And it's also about glory and power and wealth that is fleeting. It can bring also poison because it is the heart of the Scorpion in the tail of the constellation of the Scorpion. Scorpio is the heart. I know it's Sagittarius, but we're using Western Tropical Zodiac. It's still lined up with a star that represents the heart of the Scorpion. And of course, Scorpion is a poison, right? Because it's got a tail that stings you. And Shala is actually the star at 23 Sagittarius. It is the tail stinger, but this is the heart of the Scorpion. So it's still connected to scorpionic energies, and it can invite death from weapons of war. Okay. So, and then lying to you, it's got a side to it, right? Now, is it any surprise? Is it any surprise that the prime minister of Israel has his ascendant at 9 degrees of Sagittarius? Glory, power, fleeting wealth, and honors. Poison star, death from weapons of war. Now that's his ascendant, that's his body, and that means he's always at peril with his ascendant on that star from unaliving by weapons of war. So I bet at some time that will happen in his reality. Can't come too soon if you ask me. Anyway, but wishing all human beings love and kindness. We're going to talk about what this could bring to the world. It definitely has some treachery, feuds, and disagreements energy embedded within it. So what can you do? But also the star, it is a star that's accompanied by other elements in the sky, not just this story. And I did bring your attention just gently to the beautiful Sabian symbol of a golden-haired goddess of opportunity. Now, there's two takes on that. Dane Rujar thinks it's also about the concept of success and opportunity and growth at the expense of like the more deeper soul level content. So from my vintage Dane Rujar book, I'll read you a little of his take on this star. It's vintage 70s and it's falling apart. Oh, got it at a estate sale. And he says, sorry about that, book on my lap. He says, So it's a 9 Sagittarius Sabian symbol. We round the Sabian symbol up by 1 degree and read for 10. This is the same for Netanyahu, right? His ascendant, we would read for 10 Sagittarius. So it's a theatrical representation, according to Dane Rudyard, of a golden-haired goddess of opportunity. Keynote, society's efforts at dramatizing the greatness of what it offers to the ambitious person. Civilization as a process demands the goading of individuals to spend their vital energies in the pursuit of achievements, which, while fulfilling the individual's ambition and greed, nonetheless generate various forms of what we call so-called progress, in quotes. This sequence of symbols mainly refers to the drive for advancement, along with human, all too human passive growth. This is the last symbol of the 50th fold sequence or whatever. We see in how sociocultural forces operate by dramatization and propaganda. Can I say propaganda again? The result is too often a process of forced growth. So the dark side of the golden-haired goddess of opportunity is like the propaganda machine. They call it Hasbara, all right, in the country of Ai in the Middle East, the little, very wasp-like country. And if you want to think about that, the idea of doing propaganda as a way of being, if you were born with that star on your ascendant, right, on your character in the simulation, that would be how you would operate. Also, the Happier book by another particular lovely person, The Sabian Symbols, A Screen of Prophecy by Diana E. Roche. I left it in the rain once in Montreal, and this is now without a cover, but oh well. A golden-haired goddess of opportunity, a keyword reward. And then it talks about the accent as being in the right place at the right time. Lucky plays an important part of this. You're at greatest advantage lies in putting forth effort to reap the benefits of opportunities that you're given. Continue on the course you know is right for you. And keywords: good fortune, luck, reward, benefit, protection, prosperity, remuneration, restitution, compensation, and reimbursement. All right. So what are you guys going to do with that hot mess, right? There's a bit of both things. It's a bit of a hot mess of like, watch out for false prosperity and growth that you're being sold, like that you get the Maserati and you're happy. And like, I'm born with this on my career point, and I've learned so much because of this. I've learned where all the golden-haired goddess of opportunity, reward, prosperity, and growth has a cost, right? You had to find stuff that's really true to your heart, and it really sits with who you are, where you are. It reminds me when I almost got a job years ago working for one of the tobacco companies in Manhattan in the PR department. Well, give me a big tobacco company in the comments. I can't remember the names of these big tobacco companies. Anyway, I didn't get it or I didn't take it. I can't remember which, because I felt at conflict with the tobacco industry and my moral imperative, right? But with my midheaven where it is, I could easily have just gone for the money, right? Or gone for the success and glory, but not at what expense. So all of us today will have 1/12 pie slice piece of real estate in your whole sign house sky that delineates this particular story. Did I say hi? Lori Lothian? Yeah, I did. Go down below and check my Meanings of the 12 Houses free PDF download and How to Cast Your Chart in Whole Sign Houses free video tutorial and find your rising sign. Because from that perspective, one of these 12 pie slices of the zodiac, 30 degrees each, represents where the star sits in your sky. Stars don't move more than a degree every 70 years. People always in the comments, talk about, oh, I've got the star here. I go, well, everyone's got the star here. For the last 70 years, the star has been sitting at 9 degrees of Sag. So all I'm trying to say is that the stars are not even moving. The Earth is wobbling. And so we see the star from a different angle, and it looks like it moved a degree in our calculations. Okay. So the stars aren't orbiting the Earth, right? They're just out there with their own planets orbiting them. So from our perspective here on Earth, it sits currently in the Western tropical zodiac at 9 degrees of Sagittarius, more or less 9-10 degrees. It's interesting to me that we are all coming into a time where I'm biting my nails. You're biting your nails about what's going on in the world regarding the word war. And I can't imagine that the full moon on a war star is going to be opening up doors of peace. I could be wrong. I would like to be wrong. I could be wrong. I would like to be wrong. But we shall see. Especially given that the leader of Israel has his ascendant right on the star that is being activated. Well, his midheaven is on Hephaestus, the guy who made the war and the weapons of war for Zeus. So iron swords, anyone? Thunderbolts. It isn't really that rewarding once you get all the money and you get all the fancy cars and all of that. Sure. Yeah. It's not terrible. You're not like, you're not sitting in a tent city because your whole country has been turned to a parking lot. So it's better than that. But I will say that the race to succeed in the game of the matrix, right? Fame, glory, power, and riches is a shallow and soul-sucking endeavor. Where do you find the true version of what it is that will bring you that light of intrinsic joy and satisfaction? And where can it lead you to lead? Now, when Apollo isn't acting like, the giver and taker of plagues, right? Apollo can also do something better for you. He's working with Varuna, and Varuna is a powerful god of creation, the Hindu god of the oceans, but it's also about reverence for a higher power. So what you would like to be remembered for as a legacy, it's the urge you have to do something important that people will remember you for. And it can bring an urge for a kind of divine or celestial law and order that's even more perfect than humanity's, right? The divine order of things. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Call to actions. You want to get the last class of a Divine Timing Masterclass and the replays at a really big discount, probably 30 or 40%. Check the description box. Code CELEBRATE all caps. Code CELEBRATE all caps gives you 40% off every course I've ever taught on replay mode at my new teaching site at LoriLothian.com. Check below. And what was the other? Come to my Chiron webinar. I'll see you guys there. It's sometime in June. I haven't set the date. By the time I'm recording this way early, like May the 10th, 11th, you'll know in the description box what the date is, how to sign up, or how to get on the wait list for when I do publicize the webinar. I do a lot of free webinars. This was not free. It might be $10, but I always do tons, 600 people take a webinar and 2 people tip me. And I went, why am I doing that? You want to learn, tip me, just pay me $10 then. All right. Ciao, guys.
Lunatic astrology.